What's up, you guys? It's Nicci, the Glow Coach. As you know, I am creator of the Glow Code, an online community where I create content and offer coaching for believers and baddies. I help women implement a spiritually strategic lifestyle, and that is a lifestyle that cultivates, practices, and preserves the principles of gratitude, love, optimism, and wisdom in such a way that women will be able to unlock their inheritance. So that's who I am. And I wanted to speak to you guys a little bit now, given the time that we're in. The Rona is still out here. I know it seems like a very uncertain time for people. A lot of people may be concerned about what's going to happen next. People may have concerns about their own health or the health of their loved ones. And this is really a time where we should be leaning on our faith. And it's in times like these that we are reminded that we do need to have a spiritually strategic lifestyle. And I say it that way because we are told in the word that, this is a battle. We are told that we need to, as part of our strategy, we have to have our armor. We have to have our weapons. And there is a strategy to getting through this battle, getting through this thing called life successfully. So that's what I do. I want to help women implement spiritually strategic lifestyles. And this is a time right now that we're going through throughout the world and in this country, in our communities, where we need to be putting our strategy into use, because otherwise, the enemy will have us believing and thinking that all is lost, that, no help is on the way, that, just throwing up our hands and saying, oh, well. And that's not strategic, but that's what he wants us to do. So I just wanted to come in and just drop a quick little video to maybe help someone kind of make the most of this time, even though it is probably stressful for a lot of people. And like I said, there is probably a lot of concern about what's going to happen next with the economy, with our own jobs, and for some people with their health, the health of their community, the health of their family. But in this time, because of what's going on, a lot of us are not at work. We're not at the office. A lot of us are home. Many of you who have children have become, homeschool teachers. And so if you look on social media, a lot of people are saying, okay, we have to make the most of this time. We're at home, we're not working. Instead of worrying about, what's going to happen with my paycheck, or, what we gonna do? Oh, Lord, 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 what we gonna do? Oh, help us, Lord, oh, Lord. Okay, yes. But in the meantime, make the most of this time. Don't just lay in bed. Don't just be sleeping. Don't just be catching up on the last 30 years of Young and the Restless. What should we be doing with this time? And so I've been reading, and if you follow me, you know that I read a lot of James Allen. He's one of my favorite people as far as understanding spiritual strategy, and coming up with creative and interesting and poetic ways to express a lot of the principles that we should be living by. And in reading him recently, he kind of had a segment on what he calls perfect repose. And I just love that phrase. Repose is typically seen as, a state of rest. Some people think of it as sleeping, being at peace. And as we are in this time, it is in many ways a time of repose. It's like everything has come to a halt. Everything has come to a stop, whether it be commerce, the economy, schools, jobs, Ubers, the streets are empty. This is a time of repose, of rest. And it should be a time of peace, and you have to have a strong spiritual strategy to be able to hold on to and find your peace in a time that the enemy wants to use to keep you worried and stressed and anxious, which we ain't supposed to be anxious. We're not supposed to be anxious about anything. But back to repose. I want to encourage us all to not just use this time as just repose in the idea of sleeping. Yeah, get you some rest, girl. I know you need to rest. We're actually commanded to get rest. But don't just sleep away in the next 6 weeks. Don't just sleep away, the next 4 weeks. I am an Olympic caliber couch surfer myself. So I know all about repose and being on a couch and Netflixing and eating up all the snacks. I know. I've been doing a little bit of that myself. So I am speaking to myself as well. But that shouldn't be all that we're doing in this time. We should also be accomplishing some goals. And so we should be trying to accomplish what James Allen calls perfect repose. So it's not just rest, period. It's perfect rest. And he has a really dynamic and creative way of explaining what perfect repose is. And this is what I think we should be doing in this time. So James Allen explains that perfect repose isn't just halting movement. Perfect repose isn't just stopping and standing still. Perfect repose is actually high functioning movement. And so perfect repose, he explains it in a slightly like in a physics kind of way. I don't know what kind of grades you got in physics. Girl, it was a struggle. I made it through, but it wasn't flying colors. It was some kind of color. It was a passing color, but it wasn't flying. So physics isn't really, my cup, but I'm going to try to explain it to you the way he explains it. If you ever had like a top, like a spinning top, the little toy where it spins, he explains that when a top is spinning, once the velocity of the top reaches its peak, once the speed of the spin, the velocity reaches its apex, it is at that point that spinning top is at a state of repose. And you can kind of see it with your own eyes. When a top is spinning, when it reaches its highest point of velocity, it almost looks like the top isn't moving. You almost can't see it spinning. It looks like it's at a state of rest, but it's actually moving at its fastest velocity at that time. And so he says, in the same way in our lives, we find perfect repose when we are functioning at our highest. And so in this time where we have chunks of time, blocks of time where we're not working in our usual workspaces, or we may not be working at all. We may be laid off. We may be furloughed. We may be wondering what's coming next. In this time, we should be spinning like a top. We should be functioning at our highest. We should be figuring out what it is our gift is and functioning in that gift at its highest point. And I know it seems difficult with all this going on, but this is how we make the most. This is how we make this perfect repose as opposed to just sleeping or couch surfing. And so I was, I was in club quarantine the other night with D Nice. And I think that he is a perfect example of what is meant by perfect repose. He's functioning in his gift at a high level, at the highest level during this time. He could be at home chilling. He could be on his couch, but he's functioning in his gift and using his gift to serve in this time. He made a couple of nights more bearable for some of us. He put a smile on some of our faces in the midst of uncertainty. He made some of us forget about, the fact that we might not have a check coming on Friday. He used his gift to make the day or the days slightly more bearable for some of us. He brought joy to us in using his gift in this time. And he did it at a state of perfect repose because it looked like he wasn't even working. He was giving a party for hours, high functioning in his gift. But to us watching, it didn't really look like he was working. He looked like he was having fun. He looked like he was in a state of perfect repose. And that is not just full stop, halt, but full functioning, high functioning so high that it almost looks like I'm not really doing anything. And we also see this in the sports world. I think they call it being in the zone, when everything's firing off on all cylinders and it looks almost like it's easy for the person. It looks like what they're doing is easy because it's flowing so fluidly, and it's almost looking like nothing's really happening, but in fact everything is happening. So I would encourage us all, in this time where we have blocks of time to spare, instead of spending it worrying and wasting our energy on worry, because worry is a waste. I'm actually gonna probably do a free webinar on worry, because I think we really need to understand spiritually what that is, and how it really is detrimental to us mentally, spiritually, and physically. So instead of spending our time worrying in this time, let's spend our time functioning at the highest level possible in our gifts, using our gifts in service to other people in this time. And so that's what I'm going to be trying to do. I'm trying to make more videos and trying to use my gifting in service to you all. So I also want you to drop a comment and let me know what kind of content you would like to see, what kind of questions you have that I could come on here and answer for you. Help me help you, because I really want the Glow Code to be of service to the Glow Code community. So that's it, you guys. Work on perfect repose in this time. Function so highly, spin so fast that it almost looks like you're not doing anything. But now, listen, I mean in your gifting. Don't be out here trying to, jump out the window with no parachute. In your gifting and what you were put here to do, continue to function in that lane. Continue to serve in that lane so that you can experience what James Allen calls perfect repose, as opposed to just, couch surfing and eating all the snacks like, some of us be doing sometimes. All right. I love you guys. Y'all keep glowing. If you want to schedule a free coaching discovery call with me, go ahead and go to www.niccipage.com, hit the contact link, and submit the form. We'll do a free consultation to see if you would like to work with me one-on-one in coaching. You can also hit the link in my bio and take my free course, The Believing Woman's Guide to Bouncing Back. 5 steps that you can take today to reclaim your radiance. And this is a good class to be taking right now, because some of you feel like, and some of us do need to bounce back from what is happening right now. And that course gives you 5 practical steps that you can take today as a Bible believing woman to bounce back from this and any other situation. So go ahead, hit the link, take that free course now. Follow me at _the Glow Code. Share this video with anyone that you think it would be useful to. Share this community with your sisters. Let's grow together. Let's glow together. And let's continue even now in this to find something to glow about, something to be grateful for, something and someone to love, something to be optimistic about, and find something that we can gain wisdom from in this situation. And there are many things that we can gain wisdom from in this situation. So that's my little note for today. Perfect repose. Get to work, but do it so good that it looked like you rested. All right. Love y'all. Peace.